Nolan Boyd. So I'll need a motion.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. E, Zone 5 applicant Brad Allen Nanke.
Why do you have his application for them?
It is voted instantly.
Okay.
Under E.
In case you want
I
that as
don't
a
s-
reference for the
Oh, I don't see
discussion.
the attachment, but.
Are you logged? You gotta log
Oh.
in.
Mhm.
That happens to me all the time.
There, magic, wow.
So do we have any discussion on the applicant? Anything that we need to go over regarding that? So in the last meeting, we just voted to table it. Or table the action item of approving a board, a new trustee for Zone 5. But this is not an action item here. It is further down. Yeah. So, I guess for that part of it, we were just going over that we are gonna further discuss it later on.
Discuss it as an action item,
Right.
when it comes up on the agenda as an action item.
Correct, yeah, it's at the bottom of the second page.
You'll make a motion at the action item, so this is your opportunity to discuss. Under presentation.
Oh, okay, I follow.
Mhm.
About the only thing I gotta say is, if someone moved in from out of town that was running for Zone 5 and was from Oregon, would they feel comfortable voting somebody in that they don't know?
Zone 5?
Yeah, Zone 5. You know,
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern also.
what's that?
That's my biggest concern also. Time.
Yeah, just time in the community.
I agree, I mean, it's, I think I've lived here 20-ish years before I even considered doing something like this to establish relationships with the community and establish a family and, you know, but.
It's a different community for sure. And, I've lived here for 30 years and raised my entire family here. This is my adult life. And didn't do it until now. So,
Right.
yeah, it's, yeah, we have our St. Mary's culture.
And that's something that takes time, you know, to kind of have a feel for how the community works and, you know, have some skin in the game here. You know.
Oh, I totally agree. Takes quite a bit of time, especially when I sat my kindergarten class in this room.
Right. Yeah. Right. Further discussion?
I don't know what I done now, Tana, but it's just
That's called thinking.
thinking.
It's thinking.
All right, moving on. So,
I got a hammer.
first reading of board policies. A, board policy number 201 dot 08, also 1140 vacancies.
I'll pull 1140 up on the screen. It's in work in progress.
Don't see it with dots up there too. Thinking.
And then I always have our current one, 20108, by my side where I can cross-reference.
If it's gonna be up there, we can kibosh that thing. Might have to. Yeah, that won't do it good that far away. I might have to sit up there.
Like kindergarten.
Yeah.
Sit in front.
Dunce cap.
Next to the teacher's desk.
So, and then I have 201 by my side, so if you'll notice,
Pretty much exactly the same.
yeah, I put a space in here, so once that's edited, that was a grammatical formatting. It's pretty much, yeah. It was revisited in 2010. It's exactly the same. There's one paragraph, one sentence at the end that's new. And that is. Nope, that's not it. That's it. Exactly the same.
That very last sentence is new.
I can't see it. Get out of the field.
Which one, the trust?
The author of a trustee subject to recall, so it added that one sentence about recall.
Search by number of the top right.
Okay.
The authority of a trustee subject to recall is limited to the period of
Yeah.
the special recall
Right here.
election until the time of
There's the
certification.
new sentence. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as it was. Yes, the school districts used ISBA's example policies for over 25 years. So what you're gonna see a lot when we cross-reference and review, and tonight will be an example, is you'll hear a lot of almost the same, almost identical. And where there is a change, we'll explain why. Sometimes it's law. And sometimes it's just our decision, do we wanna leave it or swipe it out to make it
But-
work for St. Mary's?
That's just an additional sentence. to
Yes.
the policy.
Yeah, it's just additional sentence as an update to match recall. What would happen if there's a recall?
Well, it clarifies what's
Mhm.
happening during that waiting period, so, yeah. That works.
Some updates kind of match the time. In this case, a recall.
Okay.
There was a patron had sent in a comment to we fix the formatting in number 4, the no recall. That there's a space between no and longer. And
So
then
there's- So there's no longer a space in between?
there is a space now.
Okay.
It's hard
On
to
the old
see.
policy, there was a space also. On the 201.08.
Yep.
Yeah, is doesn't need to be twice. Is no longer is a resident. Is
Yep.
no longer a resident or
Correct.
school district elector of the district. One of those is needs gone, needs to be gone, to be gone,
I think the
Is
or a
second
little
one-
verb to
second
be.
Yeah. So when we clean that up, that'll be the formatting grammar. Then, content-wise, a patron had emailed in asking
That's
us
the old
this
one right there.
sentence.
It just says a trustee. So in front of everyone, it says 1 through 7, it says a trustee to start with.
Well, and that's, she just put that up there
Right,
to start the whole section. A trustee dies, resigns, removes.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
good. So then, a patron had emailed in or wrote back comment on this sentence. And instead of putting in the event of a trustee is unable to appoint after 90 days, the patron wanted shall. But the reason it's unable after 90 days is because then you open up the vacancy to all,
To the
All
entire
zones.
district, right,
yeah. So you don't you don't have to appoint in 90 days.
right.
Right.
It's if you're unable to, then it opens up to at-large, so a person from any zone can apply between 90 and 120 days. And if the vacancy can't be filled in 120, then the Benoit County will appoint somebody for the board.
Right.
So that got changed from may to shall?
No, a
Or
patron
from
had
shall
asked.
to
No.
may?
That's what was
A patron asked
asked.
if we would consider, or you, changing it instead of unable to the Board of Trustees shall appoint somebody in 90 days.
Well, does,
So the
it probably has a
120
wording in the Idaho code of may or shall.
But there is no shall in 90 because you have another 30 days.
Right,
So it'd be
so the
may.
120-day
That-
rule, that is set in statute, is that
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
state
so
code.
we can't put shall because we have to have that 120 days in there. So, yeah, according to statute.
So this is reading one at this point.
This is also, oh, this is
Such
just
appointment
reading one.
shall be within 90 days. So if you
No,
click
she
on the link.
wanted to put
I
that.
know, this is the Idaho code. Okay,
After
after 90
90
days, if the Board of Trustees is unable
To
to
appoint.
appoint a trustee from the zone vacated, the Board of Trustees may
May.
appoint a person at large from within the boundary of the school district.
As a trustee from the zone where the vacancy occurred, otherwise
Yeah.
after 120 days.
Yeah,
That
appointment
was-
shall be made.
Shall
by
be
the-
made.
Will,
By the county commissioners.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what code
We
says.
leave it the same as Idaho code.
Yeah, that's what Idaho code says.
You have it down?
yep.
Mhm. Moving on. B, board policy number 1303, policies and procedures to review annually.
This is a new one. Show it to you. It speaks to the policies that should be reviewed annually. We didn't have that in place before. So we'll just take a look and see what we think.
So this is a new policy.
This would be new to remind the board of policies that
Of-
should be reviewed
Annually.
annually.
Okay. And what is it?
Rather
13
than
what?
guessing.
1303.
Why am I not finding it in
Oops,
here?
hold on.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, so now we actually know which ones we have to do.
Yeah, it's in a nice chart.
Yeah.
Why am I not finding it in here?
In the last 2 years, many of these we have reviewed in the last 2 years, 2023, 24, 24, 25,
1303.
right now. And there's a few more
Where'd you find
just,
it?
just still
Policy annual too?
The one, go to the
work in
1000s.
progress. And then I just type it in. Or the-
Work in process?
Yep.
Progress?
Mm-hmm.
I
And
clicked on
scroll
it.
down like,
I did that.
The 13 of,
Now my connection was interrupted. No internet, what?
look on with your tech buddy, Paul.
Yeah, here we go. What do you
Oh,
want to see?
There, now it is. I found it now. It
Yeah.
magically appeared.
I'm like a tech
I got it.
genius today.
Go back to the hard copy.
Okay.
Okay.
Code of. Oh, yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is clear for, yeah.
So some we have in the last two, and some we're still going through.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says in here, so it's got the asterisks, it says must be reviewed annually by board or delegated by the board of the superintendent or his or her designee.
Mhm.
And then it has two asterisks next to the must be reviewed annually by another party. What's that mean?
Legal or insurance or,
The auditor.
the
Okay.
auditors.
Yep, the two that I see on there, it would be an auditor. And they do that for our policies.
Okay.
Just like when food service was recently audited, we had to bring some of our business and food service policies forward.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody good? C, board policy number 502.11, also 3285, relationship abuse and sexual assault prevention response.
When was this last reviewed?
Hold on. If you look at 50211, it was reviewed in 2014. And you'll notice the the 5 paragraphs we kept are exactly the same 5 paragraphs we have in 50211. And I'll pull that up. The idea is it's a reference document for us to read and make it fit St. Mary's. So the example policy offered some options. We deleted the whole thing. So the way it reads now is those 5 paragraphs are exactly what our current policy does. I fixed the board of trustees, child, we put student. Down here where the green is the board of trustees. And that matches our current policy 50211. We use the word board of trustees. And we use students rather than child.
So question for you, I guess. So, under 18, you know, obviously this is a reference to now they're legally an adult. Is there, does it take into consideration, say a special needs student?
Who can go to 21?
That's the old
Yeah,
one.
good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Would have to ask on that one. And then add that in if we needed to. Because
I
a
don't know
special
what
ed
our,
student can stay till 21.
Right.
yeah, I don't know what our,
But yeah,
the
what our
school's
legal, right,
responsibility.
because then they are an adult in the eyes of
Mhm.
society. That's a great legal question to ask.
Because there are, well, and there are, in some instances with special ed students.
Also, when I refer back to, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, like students who are 18, who are senior, we have a few, they are allowed as their own custodian to dismiss themselves or write notes.
Mhm.
Versus if you're under 18, they have to get a parent or guardian to sign them out.
Mhm.
So probably that's accurate, now that I'm thinking it out loud. But we could ask legal for,
But some special ed students, depending on their disability or category, could be in a different state.
I don't know if to be different in terms of the eyes of society, in terms of the support we give them when they're here.
Cause this, I guess the way I read this is obligating the district and personnel to
When
take
they're-
action in some way.
When they're
just-
under 18.
Right, in terms of what I'm thinking of is, you know, the 18-year-old special student
Yeah,
that
that's point.
may not be
I
mentally
see.
capable of
Cognitively.
saying
Well, they
there's
may,
an issue.
right, they may
right?
still be legally under the guardianship
Mhm.
of their parent or
Gotcha.
another legal guardian. They may not be in the eyes of the law,
The adult.
autonomous
Sure.
adult on their own.
So I don't know.
So
if
I
that
think
makes a
that
difference or
maybe we
not.
should have a category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point.
We can ask legal on that one. That's the first read, so that's perfect. Good question. Or sometimes it might be addressed in a different policy, like we're gonna
Mhm.
discover tonight. I'll point it out when we get there. But we could reference that policy then if we need.
All right, everybody good? Any more questions for that policy?
We're going on to D.
Yeah, moving on to D, board policy number 401.37/502.12/502.14/504.09, and that'll be 3295, hazing, harassment, intimidation, bullying, and cyberbullying.
So we're
You're gonna s-
coordinating.
Correct, what, I'm gonna walk us through each
Combining.
paragraph, and you're gonna see basically these 4 or 5 different policies kind of consolidated into this one.
Right.
I'll talk us through where you find the content in each section. Because some of the idea was we would consolidate and have fewer policies.
And then that's one of the policies you have to review every year.
Yeah,
That was on that.
on that list.
Yeah.
This is in the work in progress group.
Yeah, these are all work in progress.
Oh, that. Yes, they are.
And then, yeah. Okay, ready?
Yep.
The first paragraph, before we get to the green highlight, that content is pulled from 50214. Which is hazing, harassment, intimidation, bullying, cyberbullying. That was last visited in 2017. Then the section in red, that's pulled from 50409.
Where's red?
Struck it, struck
Oh.
it. So 504.
Can you go down just a little bit?
Yeah,
Under discipline, students.
I'm in the first paragraph now.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go paragraph by paragraph. So the green in the first paragraph is pulled from our current policy 50409. Which is intimidation and hazing, or initiation and hazing. Then the second paragraph, that's new, so if you wanna read that, see if you want that in there. Right above discipline. So the board expects all students to treat each other with civility and respect.
you, like, talk me through the statement of conducting themselves in keeping with their level of maturity?
Yeah. Maybe that'd be discussion for us, like age appropriateness from elementary to middle to high school. And if it's too vague, we can take it out. I can think of an example. Last year, with the elementary kiddo, there was some inappropriate touching. Did we suspend and expel the student? Did we call law enforcement for sexual harassment? No. Based on the maturity and age appropriateness, it was more of an educational teaching moment.
But what
Inappropriate.
about the kid that happened to?
Well, that was
It's not a
part-
very good educational moment for them.
Yeah, good point. Then at the
Well,
middle school and high
depending,
school.
I don't know the situation, but it could be. On how to set boundaries and how to, yeah, no, I see how it could have been. I don't know the particular situation, but at a very young age, we teach our children how to set boundaries and to have personal space and personal bubbles
Right.
and not to allow in. So yes, it could be educational in both ways, depending. I don't know the situation.
That's the definition. And by middle and high school, you know, there's that, usually it's a little more serious. But we can reword that, we can take it out. That's why it's
And
there.
as far as so referencing that and going down to the
Discipline.
statement on discipline, is
And
that
that
where we're
comes-
going with the graduated consequences?
Yeah, so, progression. So the discipline section comes from our current policy, 50212 on sexual harassment. Graduating meaning usually there's a progression with discipline.
Mhm.
Like the first time there's X number of days of suspension and that progresses to more or expulsion, depending on the severity. So that discipline section comes from 50212. And it comes from 50214.
I'm just wondering,
Mhm.
with that statement, which I don't disagree with,
Mhm.
if under discipline, that's identified that there's some discretion there based on the maturity, age, or level of the
Mhm.
student, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm. That's part of the graduated, yeah, behavior matrices that the schools have in their student handbooks. For sure.
okay.
Like the elementary one will look a little different than the middle school.
Okay. And being this is in the harassment and,
Mhm.
hazing
Mhm.
policy,
Mhm.
is it identified that that there are different punishments for the hazing, initiation, whatever, through the
Separated out.
graduated, yeah, through elementary? Are those different, or is each age group, if you stuff Susie's sandwich in her face and say, welcome to first grade, and the same as sixth grade, and the same as being a senior to a freshman,
Would-
are those punishments the same?
No, those are usually different based on age appropriateness.
Okay.
No. And you, people would see that in the student handbooks.
Okay.
Also, the Idaho compilation of student discipline, a lot of these policies are built off of that. And that'll speak to hazing, harassment, assault, battery, bullying, intimidation, and what the different consequences can be.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking at this, does this support, the language support the current process
Mhm.
that the administrators are taking within their facilities to address an issue?
Yeah, I mean, it's pulled from current policy that we're using, so yes. 502 and 504. I'm sorry, 50214 and 50212.
Okay.
think we've talked about this before, but like at the bottom where it has legal references,
Yes,
it turns those descriptions or that
Yes.
into a link. Does it do that? Because that's how I was reading the code from one of the last ones we looked at.
Do you just copy and paste?
you copy and paste it.
Or do
It
you
doesn't
wanna-
turn into a link.
No, the one was a link. I was in the old policy. That's how I found the one that was about, must or shall, or, yeah,
Mhm.
may or shall,
Mhm.
yeah.
But if
Oh,
you
there's a
copy and
link.
paste this, it'll
pops
come
up.
up.
Probably, yeah. More step on it. All right.
That's usually how, when I'm studying and, well, any of us, when we're getting ready, right, we can look at our current policy.
Yeah.
We can cross-reference it to the work in progress. And then down below will always be the legal references. So I just punch those in the search button and the Idaho code or federal law will pop right up to read.
Okay.
If you go to notification, there's that student handbook where parents and students would find a lot of information. That's pulled from our current policy, 50214 and 40137, which is employee responsibility regarding student harassment, intimidation, or bullying. So you're gonna notice a lot of this content is almost identical to one of these 5 policies that we currently have in place. It's just been surmised and consolidated into one. Procedures, again, you'll find that content in policy 50214, paragraph 5.
So it's correct, prevent, protect, and provide the support for the victim. So we are addressing the victim. And
Mhm.
take corrective action, documented system problems related to harassment, intimidation, and bullying.
Sounds right, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Correct.
the flow.
Yeah, so this one
Correct.
also formatted a little bit, which is kind of nice because they gave it titles, which we didn't have in our other one, like notification and procedure. So employee responsibility, that's exactly from 40137. And it didn't list a nice title like this, like the new one has.
And then the district's providing ongoing PD to assist employees
Yep.
in all of these areas.
So the
listed.
last 2 paragraphs, the content for ongoing professional development, that's new. Which is, I think it's an added safeguard,
Mm-hmm.
that staff is trained on how to handle or correct such behaviors.
And reiterated and updated to anything that may be new or ongoing. Yeah.
And then the reporting is the last section. That comes from policy 50214, paragraph 6. And then you see the legal references.
I like this section. The very last listed section, those 5, I like those.
I added our school strategic
Mm-hmm.
plan.
Goals, action steps, values, then definitions, preventions,
Yep.
expectations, the process, and then involving,
Parent
the
and
parent,
law
parental
enforcement.
involvement with law enforcement, student support services, yeah. And it is to be on the annual review list.
Mhm. This keeps up with statute and that Idaho code violation of student discipline.
And parental involvement.
Mm-hmm. like the steps.
So at the bottom it says reporting the district shall annually report bullying incidents.
Mhm.
Is that another policy that we have?
That's part of this one.
Oh, okay.
The reporting?
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
says.
it came from policy, that's that's part of this policy.
And in a manner and a form provided by the State Department of Education.
If there were any incidences like that, we report it to the state.
Right.
And that's from current policy, the reporting, 50214. When there's serious discipline, these would be categorized as serious, and you enter it into the student management system, then those offenses get reported to the state.
Okay, so I keep kind of a record on this little type of thing.
On serious offenses, and these would be a list of serious, yeah,
Okay.
correct.
All right, you good? Move on. E, board policy number 502.03, 3320, substance and alcohol abuse.
Oops.
This relates to our current policy, 50203, which was last adopted in 2013. I'll go through a few of the changes. What you're mostly gonna notice is, from the old one to the new one. Our old one used to speak mostly to tobacco or alcohol, and the new one's a little broader. It mentions alcohol and drugs. So they made it a broader statement. And you'll see in green, that's an added. Section, so you can look and see if you want that in there.
Is tobacco still under a different, by itself, tobacco and
No,
vaping?
it's under drugs and alcohol now.
Okay.
They broadened the language.
Yeah, because it used to be, just looking at the old one,
Tobacco.
tobacco use,
Correct.
alcohol use, and then
Right.
alcoholic beverages,
So now it's just
other
broadened
drug
to,
use,
to drugs and alcohol.
primary statement.
So the first paragraph mentions students and staff. The second paragraph primarily, as I see, just mentions students.
Mm-hmm. There is policy for staff. This one is mostly, in regards to students. However, in the first paragraph, it's letting us know it's illegal across the board. Based on that statute. While you're during the day in school. And then I can look up, there is a different one, we looked at them a little while ago on very specific, be drug and free school zone, and one related to being drug free as a staff member.
Okay.
I'd have to look that up and get back to you. So there's some changes on this one. So volunteer disclosure and non-disclosed is new.
Well, it says, yeah, and right in there, the first sentence says the district shall strive to create an environment free from alcohol and illicit
Sure.
drugs, so that includes everyone.
Yes, exactly. And there's some other supporting policies in place, like I said, like the drug-free school zone. But, I'll give you a minute, cause those next two sections are new. Resources on how to support a family, that's new. It was a similar message that was in the old one in terms of volunteering the information if you were under the influence, and then the appropriate consequences apply. Involves reporting it to law enforcement, involves the parent, can be suspendable or expellable. And then the next section, if they're not disclosing it, just a little more investigative work.
Just reinforcing the authority that, and the responsibility that the school has to investigate.
Yeah, and still bring in the parent, and still bring in law enforcement. And then apply the appropriate consequences.
Is this new, or that's pulled
That
from-
part's new, so the voluntary disclosure and the non-disclosed is new, that whole section's new.
Have they had the ability to search a student's vehicle when it's on school grounds?
Mm-hmm, if there's suspicion. Notify the parent.
Acceptable.
Do you notify the parent, you
I
bring
don't-
them
I
on?
don't know, is that, do you lose your rights when you come on the school property?
It's if they're under the influence.
If
They-
they're under the influence.
Or if there's
well, that's
suspicion, if there's suspicion.
Well, it's
suspected.
non-disclosing.
Yeah, if there's suspicion.
Suspected.
Then you notify the parent, and you notify law enforcement.
Right, so there's probably have to be a parent.
There's
that's
penal
gonna
code.
Search a vehicle.
Well,
I
it's
would-
probably,
I
it
would
could be
think,
the
right?
it could be the parent's vehicle.
Right, yeah, so.
It may not be the student's vehicle, it may be the parent's, so I would assume that before anything was done,
Sure.
law enforcement would be involved to make
Mhm.
sure that that was handled correctly.
Right.
I think to address what Paul's getting
Yeah.
at though, is that
What's the
from,
penal code
from a
say?
liability side, I think it's probably most appropriate, that statement there, law enforcement
Mhm.
probably should be, if they're suspected of going into somebody's private property, they should probably have law enforcement there.
Absolutely.
Lockers, things like that, that's school property,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
that's mom's car, dad's car.
Yeah.
I don't think.
You know, I probably wouldn't want somebody searching my vehicle if the kid drove it that day.
Yeah, in addition, law enforcement will be called immediately, as will the parent guardian. We can reword that however you want.
Yeah, because I think if you suspect somebody of using drugs or alcohol, you probably would call the police,
Mhm.
right, and just have them handle it.
Yeah, that's how we handle it right now.
Let's just make that the
That's-
first,
You can send.
If you're gonna do a
Pull the
search.
car out, pull the car specifically, that aspect, or just
Or just when you
Have-
suspect somebody of using drugs or alcohol,
a police
Or is-
police
officer
officers.
in the
call-
non-voluntary section where
yeah.
investigation has to take place,
Mm-hmm.
that everything stops
Mm-hmm.
in time until the police get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if the kid admits to using drugs or alcohol, it's illegal still.
Correct. That's why law enforcement's involved.
Mhm.
Right.
But no, they can't go down to their car, no, they can't go to their locker, no, they can't, you know, everything freezes in time.
Right.
And there is another policy we can pull up on search and seizure in those steps. It's not penal code, it's just law,
Okay.
Idaho law statute.
Right. So yeah, there's another policy that covers this.
But we can make that really explicit right here, like you said. So let me get down to under the non-disclosed part in the first paragraph. If there's suspicion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
notify law enforcement
Right.
Yeah.
before any search.
Yep.
Okay. Any guys? Prior to any search. Prior to any search of. Just any search?
No, because I mean, if they're in the school,
Yeah, so any search
and that,
of.
I don't think law enforcement doesn't need to be there to search somebody's locker. I think it's just a vehicle.
Right.
Okay. To search.
Should just separate out the car. Or their bike. They might have a container on their bike, you never know.
When I was a cop, we pulled mess out of a guy's handlebars one time. So, yeah.
Did you have to take your
Yeah,
hand
so-
guard off? Or
Oh,
like
no,
the
he just had tape over the end of it.
Oh.
It worked out well.
I mean, I don't know if kids have e-bikes right now, but they're becoming more popular.
All right,
so-
yeah, okay, the next paragraph, it already
Yeah.
says law enforcement.
It does,
I
but
just found orange.
it does, but I
Dash
think
camera.
the point was
If
to
you
bring
make
it
it
up
more
to the
clear.
front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Personal property, car, bike, e-bike, can,
Horse.
saddlebag.
Could be.
My daughter did ride her horse to school one day, so. You remember that? Were there 4 or 5 of them? That was great.
Did you have to trailer it, or she rode
But it
from
does say that
Brentwood?
No,
District
we
shall.
trailered to the fairgrounds, and then they rode from the fairgrounds up to school.
Gotcha.
Right up to John's window. It was great.
District shall notify parent guardians known.
I brought the trailer to the parking lot, so I didn't have to ride outside. We loaded it up.
You can't copy and paste, you just put it over here. I reordered it so the law enforcement part's up at the front. And then I put notify parent and guardian. And then I said, district would take the discipline actions that are appropriate. So it's
Yeah.
struck out, but I rewrote it at the bottom. You can't copy and paste.
Good.
I just read it.
And we have somewhere in policy that our SRO is
Mm-hmm.
considered law enforcement when we
Yeah,
refer to
they're
that.
considered law enforcement. I work for Benoit Sheriff. Policy for next time, searches.
Okay, good.
Okay. Save that.
F, board policy number 504.163530, suicide prevention.
I'm gonna write my homework to look at the other policy and searches.
What was the number? The new number?
3530.
This one was visited in 2023. It's identical to 50416 on suicide. You're gonna notice 3 minor changes based on having our crisis prevention team and our psychologist take a look at it and adjusted the wording a little bit to match what we have in our plan that we have in place and our resources. So let me show it to you. Otherwise, it was identical. And then these were their suggestions. And they made 3.
My computer just didn't hear it good. Gave up.
Oh, yeah. Gets tired.
Timed
Let's
out.
take a nap.
Mhm.
Snooze.
Okay.
Perfect.
So identical to our current
Open a
one.
new window.
In blue highlight, you'll see the minor changes that our crisis prevention team mentioned. They said short-term counseling, but maybe it's appropriate to make a referral outside of school. Under intervention, the crisis prevention team rewrote the language for A as an intervention based on how the plan reads right now. The person informs the parent or guardian the same day or as soon as possible. And there can be an external evaluation if the parents so desire. Or a qualified health professional,
Right. so they
beyond
might-
and outside of our abilities.
Yeah, they might
Correct.
call the SRO, call an ambulance or something type of thing. Yeah.
Or like a lone pine or a hairy puff.
Is that normal protocol to have services from like Lone Pine and Heritage Health? If
Outside
they're-
services?
Outside services there for postvention when a tragedy occurs?
Absolutely. So that's their area of expertise compared to a school counselor or school staff. And then the crisis prevention team also looked to reword post-mention number F. Very similar to the intervention, offering mental health services, including short-term counseling, and a possible referral outside. And then everything else is identical to our current one, which was just revisited in 2023.
Everybody good with that? Mhm. G, policy number 702.168170, district-owned vehicles.
Not too many of those. Couple white vans outside of a school bus.
What's the policy name?
8170.
170. our current policy that's similar to district-owned vehicles is 70216, last visited in 2015. This first paragraph, the blue is everything from our current policy that we added back in. What's new with this one that wasn't in there is just how the district maintains a vehicle and a bus, talking about how we follow the safety, legal, operating conditions. We follow the guidelines of the safety transportation manual and use those same safety checklists for a pre-trip and a post-trip for a vehicle as we do for a bus. So that's what these two paragraphs speak to. After that, it's content from our current one that we brought over into this new one. This is new too. If the driver gets cited,
So I got a question.
it's their responsibility to pay for the ticket.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
That's right, pretty much every circumstance.
I got a question on
Yeah.
employees operating district vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, pull off to the side, when you're using your cell phone. Do we have any incidences where they need Google Maps or somewhere to get somewhere?
You can do that ahead of time,
Okay.
or have it punched in ahead of time. Just so they're following traffic rules and laws.
Is it state law now to be hands-free? Yeah.
I don't know.
We can look at the statute down below to verify it. So when it's open, there is a space, okay.
I guess if they got I'm thinking, teams playing in Boise or somewhere else, I guess they would probably have a coach or somebody on the bus that might have that.
Yeah, you'd think.
Turn
so.
right here,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Go back.
Yeah, rerouting.
yeah, and they often, that's a good point.
Yes, the
Somebody on
law
the
went
bus.
into effect July 2020.
That's one of the reasons probably for this
Hands-free.
update.
Yeah, since 2020.
Who knew?
Yeah, well, now we all know.
You wouldn't know it.
Idaho is a hands-free state since July of 2020. You have all
That's
been,
why some of this
you have all been
content's in there.
informed.
What happened with the new vehicles where you gotta touch all the stuff now?
Oh, gosh, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with it. I can't do it. Nope.
We don't have any of those vehicles, so we're safe for now.
Yeah, you're glad you don't.
Yeah, the
And I
pluses
swear,
are like
the
that.
next
Our
one I
buses
buy
and
is
our
gonna
white
not
vans
have
don't
it.
that.
I hate it. Hate it.
Didn't you want to speak to that part about the reimbursement for community with the W-4? That's added.
So that goes under their income.
Any mileage driven in a
Reimbursement.
district-owned vehicle.
Yep. Wow.
Well, not for official district, if they would use it and it wasn't, it's for personal uses, which they don't anyways, they would have to use their benefit.
Should we delete that? We don't follow that practice?
We
Or
don't
is-
follow it because we don't allow it.
Right.
So it's not followed.
Well, then we don't need it.
Keep it in there to say if it was to happen, then we would do that, but, we really don't have any vehicles, we just have the main
We have the CTE van.
correct?
Mhm.
So that's a possibility that it could be, they're not supposed to, but I guess if it was, then we would be obligated to do that.
I think you have to leave it in there, just in the event of,
That they're gonna report it as part of the report.
No, and I guess, that's in there, or someone who's paying for it, that they can,
mm-hmm.
Tax.
taxable income.
Okay. And then this part in blue is from our current policy added back in on how we maintain and operate the vehicle. And the conduct of the employee who's operating the vehicle is from our current policy added back in, and the procedures if there was an accident. An emergency call out. We added that back in. And that's if the vehicle's parked at their place, the emergency call out. And they need,
If they need it out there, like if they're on call, like a
Mhm.
mechanic or something on call, unless if they're out and about, then
Mhm.
that can be allowed for them to have a vehicle, district vehicle, so they can leave from their home.
like the maintenance
for a
service
emergency
vehicle.
call out.
And that happens every now and again. Late night trips,
Yeah.
bus breaks down,
Smoke a cow.
somebody,
Yeah,
Smoke.
it's like, oh.
somebody's called in.
These things happen.
Does that also address, I don't know if we have any bus drivers that live like out of town, away from the shop, do they keep the bus?
We do, actually, this year.
Yeah.
We have one
In Mida.
driver who drives for us in the Fernwood, Mida area, and they live out there, and that's the only route, so the bus stays at Upriver School or her place.
Makes sense.
It
Yeah,
does
save
make
fuel
sense.
money.
Calder Avery does the same thing. Yeah, save fuel, save maintenance, save the hours.
Right.
Yep.
All right,
Or wear
everybody
and
good with
tear.
that? 3, second reading of board policies. A, board policy number 201.05, 11,000 membership, or 1,100 membership.
So 1,100 is very similar to our current membership policy, 20105. The first paragraph's identical. The last two paragraphs are identical. This one is a new paragraph, just talking about if there's a vacancy, basically. If the person no longer resides in their zone. This is what statute says. If there's a change in boundaries, and that person no longer lives in the zone, they get to finish out their appointment. That happened
Due to redistricting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which happened
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
a few years ago when they
My
The
district
redrew the
changed,
boundaries
but it got
up.
bigger.
The county.
So minute, I think where they run into that is like Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, where you've got,
Growth.
in housing communities, where the
Yeah.
lines
Oh, they
kind
gotta
of go
read.
goofy in there.
Well, they've been growing so much, they've been adding whole
Yeah,
subdivisions.
yeah.
So it's there in case.
Yep. Makes sense.
All right, good. B, Board Policy 201.04, 1110, elections.
This is identical to our current policy, 20104 elections. Last visited in 2018. It's identical except for the number.
Pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. C, Board Policy number 602.13, 2425, parental rights.
This one's very similar to our current policy, 60213, which was last looked at in 2023. It's identical, and then you'll see the green highlight where we added that back in since we're an opt-in district regarding sex education. So it just reinforces that parents have to sign a form if they're gonna opt into sex education.
Yep.
And if they don't, the district will provide, if they don't want to sit in sex education, then the district will provide the alternative activities.
Yeah, I was confused because I was recalling that policy, I believe, and so it was like, we're just taking that section
Yeah.
out of that policy and reiterating it again.
We're just
in-
reiterating that
into
we're
this one to
opt-in.
make- Yeah.
Right, but we just.
It was like,
reviewed
I knew this.
Yeah, we just reviewed it. So
Yes.
it's identical to our recent one, and then we just reinforced that we're opt-in, and we updated this policy, because it has a new policy. number.
2320, is that our sensitive topics policy?
The health education.
Yes,
Yeah.
sensitive
That's-
topics.
it's just
Yeah.
We talk about abstinence. And then the only other change was the fact that we've updated our patron grievance policy, so it's 100304. Otherwise, it's identical
All right.
to our current one.
Everybody good with that? Yep. All right. D, Board Policy number 602.15, 4160, parents' rights to know notices.
This one is identical to our current policy, 60215, which was revisited in 2023. The only difference is the policy number.
Okay, I had a patron that brought up a dispute about the persistently dangerous schools section,
Mm-hmm.
stating that it didn't apply to our district and thus did not need to be in
Policy?
the policy.
Mhm.
However, as I see in here, so if we can just kind of discuss the necessity of this section and the pertinence of how it would be
Mhm.
are relevant, even though we are such a small district. I just wanted to go over that, but this is the policy. We've had this in place.
Let's see. It's in reference to statute, I guess federal law, 20 US Code 7912, in discussion with unsafe schools. So that's what it's in reference to. And then, yes, it's up to the board to decide if it matches or works for St. Mary's. It's been in there since 2019.
Without me reading the whole thing, what does it get you having it in there or not having it?
Would get you leaving, what I understand if it's in there, according to this statute, is should a school be identified for 3 years in a row as being dangerous because of a suicide or a sex offense or a kidnapping, then the family is allowed to go to a safer school in our district.
I think the point was
No other
being
school
made
or
that there was no
Yeah,
other
there's four to
school.
pick from. So, we can leave it in and take it out.
There was
Just-
also a section in here that says about going to a nearby district, I thought.
Yeah, if near the school in the district.
So like if somebody felt that they needed to, they could, under this, they could go to like Kootenai or Plummer or something.
If you met the criteria.
If
the school met the criteria.
criteria. Now, would this also, I'm just wondering, under the definition of dangerous school, like, let's say there was a really bad fire in the school, so this has to be a persistently, this is 3 years in a row. So it's not an environmental hazard of, like smoke damage, mold from fire, water.
Right, that'd be
This has to
different.
do with like person-to-person type threat, violence, not necessarily environmental.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you lived in Hawaii, right, you're under the persistent threat of a volcano or California and earthquakes, right? So this is, I read this as being very directly towards criminal type
Mhm.
activity
Yeah.
and action.
Correct.
Probably something that's more prevalent in your more metropolitan type areas, but from a policy standpoint though, if we, we don't wanna get into the beginning of year 3 and be like, oh, we don't have a policy if something were to happen, right? It's already there. I
Well,
don't think-
when the statute's referring to percentages, we could meet those percentages really quick, cause we're so small. I mean, it's a statutory section, it's not just something we want to do cause we feel like it.
Right.
I mean, if they were just talking in general, that'd be one thing, but when they're actually stating percentages of student body and then the numbers, we
Right,
could meet
but I-
that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I
but-
kind of feel that if there was any kind of a threat, it would be handled, it would not go on
It
3
wouldn't.
years consecutively,
Right.
Well, it wouldn't, not under the
Yeah.
way things are now. So I don't know, do we need it?
I don't see
Well,
where it
what's-
hurts leaving it.
Yeah, what's it hurt to leave in there?
I don't think it hurts anything to leave it in there.
I suppose in 2 years, if we make it for 2 years consecutive, we should probably get rid of it. But,
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
No, we'll be taking a lot of really close looks. No, I don't see how it hurts leaving it in there because it is statutory, it is Idaho code. On the surface, it doesn't seem like it's relevant, which it isn't, but
because there's a legal reference in there for unsafe school choice option.
Mhm.
mhm. So it gives people an opportunity to pursue things. I don't know.
Well, I think, maybe just look at it on the flip side, if somebody were to come to the administration or to the board and say, you know, because of certain events to my kid specifically, we feel this is an unsafe, what's the term?
Persistently dangerous.
It's persistently dangerous. This is defining what it is and then what their options are,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
And if what they're saying, your school's persistently dangerous, and we
Yeah.
say, no, statutorily, according to Idaho State Code, no, we are not persistently dangerous because
Yeah.
we have this in here. Yeah, good point. Good point.
It does say, Paul, if the district doesn't have, it says first look at another school within the district. However, if that's not an option, we can partner with neighboring school districts.
Right, and, yeah, you have a parental right to take your kid out of school if you think
Mhm.
that's safe for them
Mhm.
Yep.
anyways, so.
You can do that
Right,
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do that now. And maybe you could push that case using this, I don't know.
I think, would there be, and this is a question for you, would there be something there, so say you had a student athlete and parents wanted to transfer their kid to somewhere else and they used, well, it's just a dangerous environment, I wanna move my kid out, well, underlying, they wanna go play somewhere else,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like, well, no, this is, because then under this, maybe they could transfer their kid out, make a case to the state that their kid would still be eligible, because they do lose some of that eligibility when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, under the IHSAA, they can file for like a hardship.
Yeah.
That would excuse them. We had a case not too long ago, for a different reason.
Yeah.
Which I think that's pretty tough to file that with them.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple, actually.
But to get the.
Oh.
To get.
No, to have it waived,
I see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hardship.
yeah, to get that approved.
Yeah, it's not just,
Sure.
sure, I see what you're saying.
I would tend to lean more on leaving it in here just as now we have a kind of a buffer border to operate in as far as sidelines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it was brought up by a patron, so I just wanted to address
Good
it and
thought.
discuss it and,
Nice to know that they're thinking that our schools are safe and.
and
We
that
don't
it's
need that.
non-relevant, right,
That's what we
right?
want.
Right?
That's what we want.
So, yeah.
All right.
It's
everybody
been
good
there
with that?
since 2019, like you said, Paul, and keep revisiting it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. E, board policy number 401.06, insurance group coverage continuation COBRA, board policy
backwards.
number 401.07, group coverage, or group insurance coverage. 8610.
Yes. 8610 would be new. 40106 speaks to insurance coverage. We would leave that. Talks about the COBRA coverage, and I'll let Danette jump in. 40107 talks about our group insurance. We would leave that as is. And then this is new. Let me pull it up in case the board would like this one. And this just speaks to really it's a safety net for employees is how, and families is how we read it, based on any health insurance, Medicaid, that we're bound to follow HIPAA and FERPA. So I'll pull it up. employees or student records based on HIPAA and FERPA.
Right.
And then there's the legal reference, just going more in depth about FERPA and HIPAA.
Okay, everybody good with that? All right, 4, action items. Review and consider motion to approve board policy number 1100, membership.
Move to accept that policy.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, B, review and consider a motion to approve board policy 1110, elections.
So moved.
second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. C, review and consider a motion to approve board policy number 2425, parental rights.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D, review and consider a motion to approve board policy number 4160, parental rights to know notice.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion is second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Review and consider a motion to approve board policy number 8610, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Review and consider a motion to appoint Zone 5 candidates.
I would make a motion to leave it open to accept applications.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to leave it open. Accept candidates. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. All right, G, review and consider a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.